Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Railroader. I apologize for the lack of really any other uploads this week and last week. I did a Minecraft stream, but I got stuck on the road again and didn't have a chance to do any videos or anything. In the background of this video, you may hear me go like hitting my computer screen, but it's the South. It's the middle of August. There are gnats everywhere, and the gnats are really bad here. So I apologize for that right off the beginning. But the first thing I want to say in this video is, wow, I'm at 18 subscribers now. I know that's not like quote-unquote a milestone or anything, but that's so cool. I want to thank anybody and everybody watching these videos that are subscribed for doing that. With that being said, let's get into the video. Now, you may notice we're not on the Smoky Mountain Railway today. We are on the Bryson Railroad, which is just the random name it gave me for this. But what we're going to do is I'm going to go through my mod list. I've kind of been alluding to wanting to do a video like this for a while, and I've actually had some interest in it. So we're going to do that today. This is going to be a long video. I'm not really going to go in depth into what they all exactly do. I'm just going to kind of skim through them. The ones that are not technical mods, I will show off. So like locomotive mods, the tender swap mods, anything that adds anything to the map, I'll go through all that. But we're going to get started with the locomotive mods. Now, there's one mod in here in particular that I really don't use. I really don't use any of the locomotive mods except for the tender swaps mod, which is this MEV. We'll get into that. This is the most recent mod that I have downloaded, and when you initially see it, it looks okay. It looks, again, okay. Keyword there, it looks okay. Now, if we notice, this is the number 5. And if you use it on your railroad, it shall stay the number 5. Now, I'm not going to crap on the dude that made this model, because he even said in his Nexus post of this locomotive mod that this is kind of his initial kind of test to put a Shay in the game. But I was testing it out after I had downloaded it, and I'm going to laugh. This is not me laughing at the mod author, but I'm gonna laugh because we all know how Shay's supposed to work. Not like that. Anyway, but that's the two truck Shay that is not something that I'm probably going to use really at all. The next one is probably the coolest locomotive mod on the market right now, just because of some of the things it does. So, of course, it adds in a little kind of Civil War era, 1860s to 1880s 440. You can do something really cool with this locomotive, though. This is, as far as I know, is the only locomotive you can do this with so far in the game. You can play with the color of the locomotive, and I think that is so cool. So let's just make it kind of a dark red, do that, and it's just a really, really nice locomotive. It does have a little bit of a quirk, so if you set it to go with the AI engineer, you're about to see what it does. Is it fixed? Oh, it might be fixed. Anyway, it used to just wheel slip every time it took off, and maybe that's just when it has stuff behind it. But this is a really nice locomotive mod. When I first started the series, I did like one episode of this rags to riches thing, and then I figured out that that's kind of boring in Railroader, so I haven't done any more of it. But this was the locomotive I started out with, because as pretty as it is, it kind of sucks. Its abilities just aren't there. That's the A12440. And actually, let me make sure that as I go through each mod, I show you their actual thing. So here's the two-truck Shay. Doesn't have any info on it. And then this guy is here. So, sorry, you can't see what I'm looking at. Clicking on that took me to the Nexus. It doesn't look like, okay, well, I'm glad I have this mod. Unfortunately, you never will, because it's not up anymore. Okay. That's unfortunate, because that's a really cool mod. Of course, we have the Tender Swap mod, which I'll show you next. If I can find it. I have so many mods right now, that it's kind of hard for me to know where I need to go to find each of them. Here we go. Max Ultimate Lettering and Tender Swap. Tender Swaps. So this is just kind of a thing that it kind of standardizes all of the lettering. I'm trying to think maybe of a locomotive that maybe it's not standardized in the base game, but it is standardized here. Well, let's just stick them back to back. Okay, so like with this one, you can see the lettering's bigger on the modified one. Yeah, the lettering's bigger on the modified one. It's got the number on the sand dome or steam dome. Sand dome. And then that's pretty much it. Of course, it swaps tenders. That part of it's pretty self-explanatory. I'm not going to go through and show every tender swap that they do. If there's any interest, I can go through and kind of do tender swaps for like every locomotive. But I'm not going to do that right now. So let's go down. Here is the last locomotive mod that I have. It adds in the Western Maryland H9 class consolidation. This is a big boy kind of consolidation. So the biggest consolidation in the base game is the C55. So the C55 is this guy right here, and they're relatively the same size, but the Western Maryland, the H9, has a little bit on it, and I'm not sure I'm not sure exactly what the difference in their abilities are, but I can't really look at that in Sandbox. So let's go ahead and get those out of the way, and then I can rapid fire a few of these. So you have the asset loader, which you have to have. That's kind of, if you download really any mods, you're gonna need that. B-Man's dynamic weather doesn't work for me. Not sure if I just don't have something set right. Excuse me. I'm not sure if I just don't have something set right with the mod or what, but it doesn't work for me, but I have it. And effectively, obviously, as it says, it's supposed to change the weather. It's supposed to change your friction percentages and everything. But again, doesn't work for me. So now we have Green Ninja's Better Whistles. Green Ninja's Better Whistles is one of 2 or 3 whistle packs that I have. So I really don't know which whistles are which to be able to go through and show you guys the whistles from that pack. But Green Ninja's Better Whistles. I have the Map Enhancer. So for me, the Map Enhancer is sort of a lifesaver mod, because the Map Enhancer is what makes my map look like this. So you have your industry tracks. Still to this day don't exactly know what blue is, but basically the yellow is anywhere that something can be put to have something done with it. Whether it's an industry track, a repair track, a coal track, whatever it may be, that's what that is. Blue, mainline. And then you have your switches, and it tells you which way they're switched and everything. And base Railroader does have that now, but it's just tiny. It's so difficult to use, especially I have bad vision. I have really ginormous, thick prescription glasses, so it's hard for me to see the normal vanilla arrows. That's basically what Map Enhancer does. There might be some other like behind the scenes stuff that it does that I don't know about, but that's the basic gist of it. Of course, we went through Max Ultimate Lettering and tender swaps. Smart orders. I downloaded it. I don't really use it. It's not exactly a bad thing to have. But let's just grab, let's just grab the T17 real quick. So if we go in here and you go to orders, when you go to yard, it's normally just this top area here. But this gives you, say, I had a train that I wanted to go 5 switches. Because say we were back here and I wanted the train to go from here and clear 5 switches. So it would clear 1 switch. It would clear 2 switches, 3 switches, 4 switches, and 5 switches, and it would stop right here. Pretty handy mod, but I'm so, like, OCD about controlling exactly what my locomotive's doing that I haven't used it. The next one is Railroader Utilities. This gives you just sort of like you can change sorry, excuse me for a second. You can change like the aliasing, stuff like that. You can change how far away you have to be before you can mess with something. Okay. And then, of course, the Western Maryland H9. Now, Rail Loader, which in itself is a mod. This in itself is a mod. This is the Unity Mod Manager, which is something you have to have, basically. So, this is Unity Mod Manager. So, let's go to Rail Loader. Rail Loader is something else you have to have. So, we have the 2-truck Shay, which I showed you. Excuse me for a moment. Sorry. And then Almond Industries. So let's hit the map up and let's go find Almond. It's a long way out here. But basically, Almond Industries takes Almond, which is just a passenger stop in the vanilla game, and it adds 2 industries, I think. I think it only adds 2 industries. We can go up here, go to locations, Almond. So you can get Little Tennessee Bait and Tackle as well as Swain County Lumber. These are the 2 that you can get here. Excuse me? Sorry, I just noticed this. The National Park Service at Hewitt. That's rather interesting. Okay, anyway. You get I have the Bryson Yard East crossover and Bryson Yard West crossover, which, oddly enough, I actually can't remember which crossovers this mod adds. If I'm not mistaken, I think it adds 2 extra crossovers. So I think it adds that crossover, I think, and adds this crossover, I think. Again, don't quote me on that, but I think that's the 2 crossovers that it adds. CLB's assets, that's sort of for, I don't remember which expansion mod, but I think it's used by a couple of them. CPLW whistles, which is the Canadian Pacific Locomotive Works whistles. It's another whistle expansion mod that I don't remember which whistles it adds. So then you have the Dillsboro fueling crossover, which I haven't used once because I don't ever buy Silva or the Dillsboro extension. You get the East Whittier crossover, which is I believe this crossover. I think this is the one that's base game, and this is the one that's not. One of these is base game, and one of these is not. The East Whittier Yard expansion, which actually I should have just went on to East Whittier anyway. But the East Whittier Yard expansion is what takes the yard up here in Whittier from being a little itty bitty 2 or 3 track yard all the way up to being this big boy nice yard. It really doesn't extend the interchange tracks, but it adds these tracks as well as adds a connection to the back of both the sawmill and the locomotive works, or the locomotive shop. The Ela Farm expansion. So this is a mod that I've got 2 different mods that are affecting it, because if I go down here, anybody that has seen me work Ela in the Smoky Mountain Railway series will know that's a thing. I'm not really sure which mods I'm running, or which 2 mods are conflicting that I'm running, but I really don't go that far back, so I'm not that worried about it. Another whistle pack, ETAP's whistles pack, again, just another expansion on the whistles in the game. Gameroo's water mills doesn't work right now. This mod is supposed to make Whittier have houses and stuff in it. I think I'm missing a dependency for the mod, because obviously Whittier's not populated. So that goes to show the importance of making sure you have all the dependencies, and I just haven't went back and fixed that yet. HJ Ela Farm liquid fertilizer is pretty self-explanatory. It adds in liquid fertilizer hoppers that you have to take down to Ela Farm Supply along with the standard box cars. Cater's Sawmill extension is... we're close enough, I'm just not going to teleport, is what adds in this extra track here. It also extends these tracks much farther, and it also extends the log track. Here's Liam's whistle pack. This again is just another whistle expansion. MVR's logging cars. Now MVR's logging cars adds in some pretty dandy logging equipment. So it adds in the 70-foot logging gondola, the 30-foot logging gondola, and this guy. It adds in these 3, so we'll plop these guys down just in a line real quick. And so it adds in these 3 freight cars that you can use to log. I'm mostly just use this. It's not really that much more expensive than either of these 2, and can hold quite a few more logs than either of these 2. I forgot I have to delete all these cars one by one. Then we have the Nantahala engine house and passing track. Now, I thought this was going to add something else in. This is still a really cool mod, because Nantahala's kind of out in the middle of nowhere. And this mod adds... I thought there was supposed to be a building out here. Okay. Anyway, it adds all these extra tracks. It adds all these extra tracks, and it adds a coal conveyor belt to this area. The only thing that it doesn't add is a water tank, but that's okay. Still a pretty useful mod. I use Nix Bryson interchange, which makes this an interchange right here. Now Nix Industries Extended. This is kind of an overall just plug-in that is used for 2 or 3 different industry extensions. Nix Nantahala interchange. It just makes an interchange here at Nantahala where we are. Pine C2 Whittier extension. That is not active. I guess it is active. It's enabled. But okay. Then you have Pluto's wear and tear tweaks. So Pluto's wear and tear tweaks, that just kind of tweaks the amount of time before, well, it affects how quickly your locomotives get wear on them, and it tweaks how long in between each overhaul. Some kind of madness is some kind of madness. This is something I don't really use anymore. Because what I used to do was the intra chance is supposed to be somewhere right around 15%. And what that does is that means I've got a pulpwood car, or no, I've got a lumber car at the sawmill, and somebody along the railroad orders it. Instead of taking it to the interchange and them getting a car from the interchange, it will go from the sawmill straight to, say, Bryson Lumber and Coal Company. Strange Customs is kind of the thing that randomizes the appearance of cars. The standard catalog of load IDs, this is just sort of another plug-in extension type thing. Then Woodchip C2 extension, that again, just another extension mod. Zach's Whistle Pack is just, again, feel like a broken record, but it's another whistle expansion pack. And Zoper's ELA entry, I will actually go back and show that off, because that is such a lifesaver. In the base game, in Vanilla Railroader, that's the last one, right? Yeah. In Vanilla Railroader, you have to, you have to do this switching puzzle every time you come to ELA. So you have to go into here, run around the train, back in, go up here, back up, go forward, back up. And you still have to run around your train normally down here at ELA, but what it does allow you to do is go here, grab it, go up here, and just shunt all your cars into the same track, instead of having to sort them out here. But that really didn't take as long as I thought it would. I probably could have done a better job at that, but I've got so many mods right now that it's really hard for me to tell in my mind what each... Oh, I'm so sorry. I haven't yawned once today until I started recording. But anyway, it's kind of difficult for me to know exactly which mods do what. But anyway, I hope But I hope you enjoyed the video. Um, if anybody has any interest in any of the particular mods and would like me to do like a mod showcase or something for it, then I can dive in and do a little bit of that for you. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, do what all the YouTubers ask you to do, and I hope to see you here again next time. Peace out and have a good day.